Hey guys, what's up? And it's time for my April TBR. March didn't really go as planned. I had quite a lot of books on my TBR for March, and I needed to get through them pretty quickly to get through all of them. And let's just say that didn't happen. I still have a week and a half left, and so I have a plan, but I'm still not going to be able to complete all of the books that were on my TBR. So let's look at the books. So this was my stack of books. And listen, it was highly unlikely that I was going to be able to read all of these books, and that's okay. You know, it's okay that I failed, because it just wasn't likely at all. Let's look at these books, and I will let you know if I read them, if I'm going to be able to read them. Again, I have a week and a half, so I definitely have a plan for finishing 3 books. So yeah, I'll be good. I just won't have read every single book. Okay, so the first book on this stack, I really hope I don't drop this, is Agatha Christie's Elephants Can Remember. This is a book for TBR Knockout, and I have to read an Agatha Christie book a month, but this was for short read, and I haven't started it, but I will start and finish it before the end of the month. Next we have Swing Time by Zadie Smith. This is Woman of Color author. Didn't get to it, so yeah. Oh my god, the stack is so heavy. The next one was for another short read, which was The Life-Changing Manga of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. I did read this. I think I gave it 3 stars. The next book was a rollover from February. I totally forgot the month before March. But Let Me Hear a Rhyme by Tiffany D. Jackson. I am currently in the middle of it, and I plan on finishing it. This next book was for TBR Knockout, not technically on my March TBR. It's Little Children by Tom Perotto. And I switched this book out for Let Me Hear a Rhyme, because Let Me Hear a Rhyme has green on the cover as well. So I didn't read this, and I won't be reading it. The next one is The Word for Yes by Claire Needle. I started this, I'm a couple pages into this, and so I'm not going to finish it, but I'm probably going to roll this one over, because it's shorter than all the rest of them. I should also mention that this book was for the lowest rated on my Goodreads. The next one was a chance card, and I got Dancing on the Edge. I read a little bit of this, and I just DNF'd it. It sounds boring. The writing was weird. I just kept zoning out, so that was a DNF. The next book I had was Something Happened to Allie Greenleaf. This was for a random number, and I did read this, and I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved this book. The next book is The Map of Time by Felix J. Palma. I didn't put the thing on it because I'm currently reading it and will finish it before the end of the month. I have the audiobook for it, and I'm really enjoying it. This was for my TBR Teapot pick. Next, I have More Than Words by Jill Santopolo. This was another TBR Teapot pick. It came from, I picked out of my library TBR teapot, and then I had to return pretty much all those books. So then I just picked out my original TBR teapot, and I got this one. I read this one, gave it 5 stars, really, really loved this. Listen, I didn't read too much this month so far, but what I did read was great. And finally, for Instagram poll pick, we have Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I definitely set myself up to fail on this one. I'm not going to even lie. I don't know why I chose this book to go in there, but I obviously haven't read it. So, out of these 4 books, I have to choose one. If you don't know how my punishments work, I have to choose a book from the month before, and I also have to add a roll. So, out of these, Zadie Smith, I want to read this book, Swing Time by Zadie Smith, but it's large. And I'm really not in the big book mood unless I have a audiobook. I also think I'm going to unhaul Little Children because I have no interest in it anymore. So, and then I'm returning Imaginary Friend. I do have it on Libby, but also don't really want to read a big book. So that leaves us with The Word for Yes by Claire Needle. I gotta read it. I have to read this. This has been on my TBR way too many times for me not to have read it already. So this will be the first book on my April TBR. So before we get into the roles, I want to mention the 4 books that I have to get onto my TBR somehow this month, or I just have to add them. They're very small books this month, so I'm happy. We have Last Summer with Maison by Jacqueline Woodson. I believe this is for TBR Knockout. And then also Before We Go Extinct by Karen Rivers, I believe is also for TBR Knockout. So I need to get those on there. Orbiting Jupiter by Gary D. Schmidt. This is for Buzzwordathon. And then obviously I have to get an Agatha Christie book on this TBR. And I have Destinations Unknown. This is the one I've chosen. It sounds the most interesting. So yeah. So it's pretty short to get these on, even if I don't get them on, they're pretty short, so it's okay. So yeah, let's get into roll number 1. So time for roll number 1. Last month we ended on random number, so we have 7. Female main character. So for role number 1, we got female main character, and this allowed me to get one of my books in there, and I'm going to put Last Summer with Maison for this prompt. And this is Jacqueline Woodson's first book, and I'm really excited to get to it. I started it whenever I first got it originally, but then I just put it down and never picked it back up. So I'm excited to get to this one. It's a very quick read. I usually read Jacqueline Woodson books within the day. This is literally 100 pages, I think. Yeah, it's like 105 pages. So this one will definitely get read this month. Now, let's go on to roll number 2. Now time for roll number 2. Another 7. So we got On Go, which is to go to Goodreads and randomize my TBR. So for roll number 2, I did a randomizing of my Goodreads, and I'm just going to put like a screen recording here. But I did get 6 months later. I had to scroll down a little bit to find a book that was either on Libby or that I owned, and 6 months later was on Libby. And I don't really know too much about this. I've been wanting to read it. I picked it up from the library. I returned it. It's been on my TBR for a long time, so I'm excited to finally see what it's all about. I believe it's a thriller or a mystery, not too sure, but I'm really excited about it. On to roll number 3. Now on to roll number 3. We have 8. A retelling. So for role number 3, we got a retelling, and that means that I could fit this book finally on a TBR because I've been really wanting to read it, and it's Of Beast and Beauty by Stacey J. This is a sci-fi retelling of The Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what this is about, but I'm really excited to get to it, and it's not too bad. It's only like, it's almost 400 pages, but I feel like I'm gonna fly through this one. Now on to roll number 4. To roll number 4, we have a 10. We have free choice, so I get to choose whatever book I want. So for roll number 4, we got free choice, and this allowed me to get another book that I need to read, Destination Unknown by Agatha Christie. I really got to put these on my thing because otherwise I won't read them. They have to be on my TBR. As you can see, I wait till the last minute to read them anyway. But this one sounds pretty interesting. I don't believe it's part of any series. I don't think it's part of Hercule Poirot or Miss Marple, and that's why I picked it up. I could have swore I had Partners in Crime, which is the second Tommy and Tuppence, and if you've watched my TBR Knockout video, then you will know that I'm obsessed with that series currently. But I don't have the second one, so I just picked up this one, which I believe is his standalone, so I'm excited. Now on to roll number 5. We have a 4. Random number. For roll number 5, we got another random number like we did last month. So basically what I do is I choose a stack of books and we do a random number. So this is my stack for this time. I have Recursion, Before We Go Extinct, Orbiting Jupiter, The Couple Next Door, and How to Catch a Queen. Gorgeous cover, by the way. These are all books that I really want to read. These two I recently picked up, and then obviously these two are books that I need to get into my TBR, and Recursion is just a book that I have 5-star predictions for, but I haven't read yet. So yeah, so basically whatever the random number generates 1 through 5. So let's see. Okay, you can see that a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to generate. So we have 5. So number 5 corresponds to Recursion by Blake Crouch. I'm glad I put this in here because I really have been wanting to read it. I'm really in the sci-fi mood and this is perfect. I read a little bit of this and absolutely loved it. I just had to return it to the library. So I bought it myself and yeah, I am so excited about this. This is definitely a book that I've been wanting to read recently. So I'm glad this is on my TBR for this month. And now on to hopefully what will be our last roll, roll number 6. And hopefully this is our final roll, roll number 6. 6. Backlist. So basically I'm picking anything on my bookshelves. So for roll number 6, we landed on Backlist, and I had to choose this book because I've been wanting to read it for a long time. It's a short read. I might as well get to it, and it is Hold Still by Nina LaCour. I love We Are Okay. It's one of my favorite books of all times, and I feel like this one won't disappoint me either. I feel like Nina LaCour just has this way of writing that is just so beautiful. So I'm excited to get to this. This is also a book that I've been wanting to read recently, so I'm just getting them all in here. So I'm really excited. This is going to be a quick read for me as well. And I also kind of forgot we do our TBR teapot. This is not updated. I really need to update this because I've bought a lot of books from spring break, and then I also bought some more books. My book buying ban has been gone for a long time, so we're just gonna forget that I even had a book buying ban at some point. Yeah, but I really need to update this, but today we're just gonna have whatever is in here because there is a lot in here. So I'm gonna choose this one. Okay, I got Normal People. I think that's by Sally Rooney. I need to see if that's on Libby. Okay, so this is my physical stack of books, which does not seem as daunting as my other stacks. So yeah, I've added the Before We Go Extinct and Orbiting Jupiter because I do need to read those. But I also have 6 Months Later that's on Libby, and then one of those 4 books that hopefully Normal People, since that's the first one I pulled out. I'm hoping that I'll be able to manage it. Let me know down below what books you are planning to read in the month of April and how you did in March if you did a TBR. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.